Okay, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about something that's probably on a lot of our minds: how to actually talk to AI. Because let's be real, it can be a huge struggle sometimes. But stick with me, and by the end of this, you'll have a totally new way of looking at it, turning that frustration into some really powerful collaboration.
So, have you ever felt like this? Like you're literally wrestling with your AI assistant, just trying to get it to understand a simple request? Yeah, you're not going crazy. That feeling is super common, that disconnect between what we want and what the AI spits back out.
You know, the AI expert Simon Willison just nails it here. He describes this as a technology that is, and I quote, inherently unreliable and incredibly powerful at the same time. And that right there, that's the core of it. It's this paradox that means we have to find a whole new way to communicate.
So, what's really going on here? Well, it all boils down to something we can call the AI communication gap.
Think about it this way. It's kind of like a job interview, or maybe writing your resume. There's what you say, and then there's what the other side hears. You might think you're being perfectly clear, but the AI is just running on patterns. It's trying to guess what you mean. So our job is to learn how to close that gap.
All right, so how do we close that gap? It really starts with a fundamental mindset shift. You have to decide which of two main paths you want to take when you start talking to an AI. On the one hand, you've got what we can call an iterative conversation. Think of this like you're brainstorming with a colleague. You start with a big, messy idea, you go back and forth, you refine things together. It's perfect for exploring. But on the other hand, there's detailed instruction. This is where you give the AI one giant, super detailed mega prompt with everything it needs right up front. This is your go-to when you know exactly what you're trying to achieve.
Let's look at what that conversational style looks like in action. Instead of asking for a whole article in one go, which usually ends in disaster, you break it down. Step 1, ask the AI to just research some ideas. Step 2, get it to organize those ideas into an outline. Then you can have it draft each section, one by one. And finally, you use it as an editor to polish the whole thing. See, every step guides the AI, and you end up with a much, much better result. So whether you're having a back and forth chat or giving one big instruction, you're going to need a solid toolkit. So let's get into the key things you can start using right now to make your prompts way better. Every great prompt really has these 4 ingredients. First, a super clear task. Use specific verbs like summarize, analyze, compare. Second, give it enough context. The AI has no idea what project you're working on, so you have to fill it in. Third, and this is a big one, give it concrete examples. Show it what you want. And fourth, tell it what format you need back. Do you want a table, a bulleted list, JSON? Be specific. This leads to a really cool technique: giving the AI a role to play. I mean, think about it. How you ask changes everything. Are you treating it like an intern, just telling it do this task? Or more like a thought partner, asking, hey, what do you think we should do? You can even make it your coach, asking, okay, I did this, what did I miss? Or even a teacher. The way you frame the conversation defines the entire collaboration. Seriously, giving the AI a persona is a total game changer. If you tell it to act as a skeptical critic, you're going to get a completely different tone, perspective, and set of arguments than if you just ask it a plain question. It's one of the simplest but most powerful tricks in the book. But of course, it's not all sunshine and perfect prompts. We've got to talk about the big pitfalls and how you can sidestep them. Because honestly, managing the AI's weirdness is just as important as writing a good prompt. You've probably heard this word thrown around, hallucination. It's a fancy way of saying the AI just makes stuff up. It will generate information that sounds totally plausible, really confident, but it's just factually wrong or complete nonsense. And that's because it's a prediction engine, right? It's not a database of facts. And that brings us to what is maybe the single most important rule of working with AI. You need to tattoo this on your brain. Trust but verify, always, every single time. Treat every single thing it gives you with a healthy bit of skepticism. You have to be the final judge. So how do you actually verify its output? Well, here are a few great tactics. You can turn the AI on itself and ask it to critique its own answer. Or ask it to explain its reasoning, step by step. Now here's a really powerful one. Give it a document,
and tell it to answer your question only using information from that text. And of course, for anything that really matters, you have to go check it yourself with other sources.
Now, if you want to get even better, more reliable answers, you can use a technique called chain of thought prompting. This is where you don't just ask for the final answer. You actually tell the AI to think step by step and show you its work before it decides. Just look at the night and day difference this makes. A simple prompt gets you, well, a simple answer. But a chain of thought prompt forces a whole process. It has to list ideas, critique them, compare them in a table, and then pick the best one and explain why. You're not just asking for an answer anymore. You're guiding its entire thinking process. The quality of the output is just worlds apart.
So when you start putting all these different pieces together, you've got the right approach, you've got your toolkit, and you know how to handle the pitfalls, something really powerful starts to happen. You start to shift your entire relationship with AI.
Because at the end of the day, the goal here isn't just to write one single perfect prompt. It's about building a better partnership. You're making the leap from giving orders to a machine to actually collaborating with a teammate. And your role in that partnership? It's absolutely essential. I mean, Tim Berners-Lee, the guy who invented the World Wide Web, points out that humans are great at thinking conceptually, at seeing the big picture. And current AIs, they just don't do that. That's your job. You provide the vision. And that really brings us full circle, doesn't it? Working with AI is a dialogue, not just barking an order. We started out with that feeling of wrestling a frustrating tool, and now we've landed on the idea of having a productive, creative, back-and-forth conversation.
So now you have the tools. You have the mindset. The only real question left is, how are you going to start building with your new AI teammate?